Super excited that you guys could hop on here. I know it's super random time, middle of the afternoon on a Thursday, but we make it work. So like Mandi said, have your hundreds list. And what else did you say, Mandi?
A pencil and paper.
Pencil and paper handy. So I'm just going to do a little introduction and then I'm going to let Mandi take over. But Mandi's been in the business since last July. She went Emerald or Ruby in 21 days. And she is a soon-to-be diamond leader on my team. And every single day, you guys, she messages me with all of these customers and potentials and host posts that are blowing up. And she's like, I've got to do a training for my team. And I said, you've got to do a training for everyone who wants it. So glad that we're able to have some sidelines on here. And I'm just going to let Mandi share a little bit about her story and then give her all of your tips.
Like Tamika said, I started back in July, and I actually started the business because I was super jealous of seeing my friend Crystal and Chelsea and Tamika posting all these pictures of all of these amazing things that they got to go do as a group. And I just wanted friends. Like, I really joined the business because I wanted friends. I had moved into town from out north, and when I moved, I lost all my friends, and I just kind of sat in my house with a bunch of little kids. My conversations consisted of the 2 to 9-year-olds that I talked to all day, and I was kind of just tired of it. And so I texted my enroller, Crystal, and said, I think I'm going to join you. And at the time, I was in another business, but I just wasn't in it. Like, I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't passionate about it. And I was secretly buying It Works products for the last 4 months anyway. So I decided to go ahead and join. And I'm so glad that I did, because now I homeschool my kids. I'm home all day, and I was able to give up some of my babysitting jobs so that I can just spend more time with my family. And so 90% of my business actually is built off of host to post. So even though I was in another network marketing company, and I have been for almost 10 years, I had zero network. I had 500 friends when I started the business, and I only had an Instagram so that I could stalk my older 2 boys and make sure that what they were posting was appropriate. So I had no followers on there. And I've gotten up to, I think, 2,000 friends on Facebook now and 1,000 followers on Instagram. And so that's still not huge, but it's much better than what I started with. And so what is host to post? Because I know some people on here may not even know what it is. So that's where you ask your friends, family, people you don't even know on Facebook to copy and paste and post a status for you. And so we use it because a lot of us don't have huge networks, and we just don't have people that are just like, here, take my money and I'm going to buy product from you, because they don't know anything about it. And so with that, that's why we do it. And I message people. So I have a goal. So I'm going to show you guys my cute little, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's my little notebook I got at TJ Maxx, and it says priorities, don't forget, in notes. And so my number 1 on there is 75 host to post messages a day. And so I printed my Facebook list. And so it looks like this. It's in 3 columns. I have 41 pages of friends. And so I started with my very first page, because if you download them and print them, they will start with your first friend on Facebook and end with your last friend on Facebook. So if you start on your first page, those are going to be the people who have saturated, like, that have seen your Facebook, that know what you're about. Because you don't want to message somebody you just added this morning and say, hey, host a post for me. I know nothing about you. So you always start with the very first friend you added on Facebook. And so I send one whole sheet every single day. So I have 41 days of friends to send out, because there's 25 on each column. And how I send those out. So I send out messages, and I guess I could have Tamika put these in the chat for us. So I have a spot on my phone that looks like this. It says host to post. It's just saved in my notes. If you have an iPhone, it's notes. If you have an Android, it's memos. And I highly suggest just saving everything there, because if not, you scroll through messages. I know so-and-so sent me this and I've got to find it. And that's how I started. I didn't know how to use notes. So I would go to the last person I knew that hosted a post for me and pull the script from there. And so I just went to the Dreamwork Equals Dreamwork page, Better Together page, and anything that our pack has done, and just saved them. And then I edited them to be me, because how Tamika talks isn't necessarily how I talk. She's very factual and I'm very conversational. And so I just changed them to be me. Scripts are a great tool to use, but it doesn't have to be exactly what was sent to you. You can change it up, but keep the facts and the core content the same, because that's what works. And so I go on there and I have one that says, message a person to find a host to post. And I actually have 4 things in here. So I'm going to send this to Tamika and she can put it in the chat. And then, oh, not that. It didn't copy. And then when I send out messages, there's a response there. And so when I'm sending host to post back for them, like for them to post on their wall, because 90% of the time they're like, yeah, sure, I'll help you out. They really like when you're doing a gift card or free samples. And so both of those are in there. But I always do either coffee, Thermofide X. I created a Skinny Girl pack or Keto Energy, because those are the products I know about. Those are the products I use. And those are the products that if somebody goes and looks at my page, they're going to see. So I don't post about the cleanse. I honestly don't really like the taste of the cleanse. I just like the effects. So I'm not going to do host to post for a cleanse. You want to do host to post for things that all people can use and things that you personally use, and people can go to your page and see that, oh, those do work. People are commenting on it. This is what it's doing for her. And everybody who's ever been to my Facebook page knows I use hair, skin, and nails and collagen and coffee, like non-negotiable every single day. And if I run out, I'm knocking on Tamika's door. And then if she so she's putting all of those in there for you. Another way that you can get them outside of messaging is just to post on your wall. And there's a few of them. So you can post, I'm doing the Visa gift card if you want to give away a gift card. I know our pack is doing it right now. I know Amber's team is doing it right now. And that one's on my wall. Or I'll just post who wants to be entered in to win a free sample of, usually mine's coffee, and people go crazy for it because my network sees coffee all the time. So you have to know your network. Or samples of my favorite 3 products. Like, it doesn't even have to be like said right up there. And when she posts all those, like, it shows the response of how they get the free product. And I only do free product if I sign customers from a host to post. And so when people know that, like, I have one girl who goes in every time somebody comments and says how she loves her coffee because she wants a free bag of it. But who doesn't want a free bag of coffee? And so let's see if I can share what it looks like. One thing that you want to make sure you do, if you haven't done it already, is to edit your settings. Does anybody need to know how to edit your settings? And how do I screen share? Tamika, how do I screen share?
Are you on your computer or are you on your phone?
I'm on my computer.
When you move your mouse at the bottom, do you see a little square with the arrow that says share?
Yes.
So click that and then you'll have to click share screen.
Awesome. Okay. Did it work? So if you go into and go to these 3 little dots right here, that's the timeline settings. And so you want to make sure before you're having people host a post for you that on your timeline that you edit it. So you have to approve timeline and tagging reviews. So like I have to approve everything that goes on my Facebook. And then what's awesome about it is you can go right into here where it says activity log. I think I clicked the wrong one. I'm used to doing this on my phone. And I have timeline review. I have 304 items, which means I have 304 hosts to post out. And I don't ever delete them because months later, things will pop up that somebody commented on. And so if you scroll down, so like this is one that somebody did for me this morning. It doesn't have anything yet. But if you go all the way down to yesterday, it's going to take me a second. Like one thing that you do is when they comment, I go in, I like it, and then I will put on there check your message, or I sent you a message, coming in hot, like something different every time so that Facebook isn't blocking me. And then I will add them as a friend, because you want them to be able to see their messages in in their messenger. So like if you're not my friend, half the time I don't see your messages. And so you want them to be able to see your messages, and you can send them a message. And I have all of my messages saved in my scripts. And so I will like that comment, I will comment on it, and then I will add them as a friend, and then I will message them. And then another thing that I do that probably brings in 50% of my customers for my host to post is every time that a new customer signs up, they host a post for me. And I just tell them that I run a special for 72 hours for every one of my new customers, and that if they want to be entered into it, then they can host a post for me, and I send them something that goes to whatever they just ordered. And so like most of mine are coffee, because most of my customers are coffee customers. So what questions do you guys have?
I think I would say, what do you find easiest about the host to post, and what do you find, what did you find hardest?
So hardest for me when I first started was messaging people I didn't know.
Yes,
I didn't like the idea of messaging people at all, to be honest. And so I went, and Tamika can tell you, I went 2 months without messaging people at all. I lost my emerald because I didn't have a way to bring people in. Like I was getting a couple of customers off of my posts and stuff, but I didn't have a way to draw more people to my page to, one, see what I'm doing, or two, even like be able to share with people. And so I definitely message every single day now. My messages just may look a little different than when I first started. The easiest thing is that I can set a post, like have somebody post it, walk away from my phone for an hour, be a mom, be a wife, go to the gym, and I don't have to worry about it. I go back and I will have 10 or 15 comments, and I can take care of all of them at one time.
Thank you. That was super helpful, because I find that the hardest thing for me is the messaging people. I don't know. I just got done telling one of my downlines this morning. She was like, well, I keep messaging people, and nobody responds, or they just leave the conversation. And I said, I've only been doing it 3 months, and I used to get super discouraged about it, but now I just step back, I wait a couple days, and then I come back like, hey, we were talking about this, and I was wondering if, this is still something you wanted to do. And 5 times out of 10, they end up saying yeah. And I was like overthinking it. And once I simplified it and didn't stress about it so much, it just clicked, and it became so easy.
So one thing this morning, go ahead.
No, continue.
Okay. So one thing this morning is I have a girl who's wanted hair, skin, and nails forever, but like never gets back to me. So I just sent her a message that said, hey, question, I have a favor for you to be entered into a Visa gift card. She's like, sure, I'll do that. But I also want to put in my order for hair, skin, and nails. She went to my website and ordered. So sometimes following up with them with something completely different than what they were doing is super helpful. And if your messages are super salesy and super spammy and they sound like you, then there's a better chance you're going to get a response from them. And I always put at the bottom of mine, let me know either way, because you can tell me no and it's really not going to hurt my feelings. I've been told no so many times by people who 3 months down the road have signed up as a customer. And so another thing that I changed was, instead of sitting here before I sent a message going, oh, they're just going to yell at me, they're going to tell me no, they're going to tell me I'm spammy and salesy, is that I will sit here and do my gratitude journal. Everybody's telling me yes. Everybody I talk to wants what I have, and I'm helping people. So when you change your mindset, like your message comes across a whole different way. And even if they tell you no, you just say, okay, thanks for getting back to me. Because at least they took the time to respond to you, and not everybody will. I have probably 50 some messages from today that they've seen and they moved on, and it's fine. So it's hit and miss, because I have a question on here. It says, do you ever run out of people to message? So I have not gotten to the ends of my friend list yet, because every single day I'm sending 50 to 100 friend requests. Do they all accept me? No. Do some of them message me and say, do I even know you? And I say, you don't, but I love to expand my network and make new friends. And so how long does it take me to message someone that you just requested? I at least let them follow me for 2 weeks. I interact, I comment, and all of their posts and engage. And my first message to someone is never a salesy message or a post-to-post message. Like, I try to engage with them. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. Hi. Yeah, so I actually had a really weird experience today for the first time when adding friends. Like, normally when I add a friend, and I always come at it from the personal perspective first, like, hey, thanks for accepting my request or whatnot. But for the first time, somebody I added today messaged me, and they were like, hey, so you sent me a request, but I don't think I know you. Like, how do I know you? And I was just like, well, I'm just trying to step out of my comfort zone and kind of like build friendships and get to know more people, because that's actually like a struggle for me, is stepping out of my comfort zone and talking to strangers. So this has been like a big like learning lesson for me. And, so I explained that to her. I was like, please feel free to decline if it's not comfortable for you. I said, but again, this is just me stepping out of my comfort zone and expanding, my social connection. And, next thing I know, she messages me and she goes, well, you seem really nice, but I think that my political views and other views that I have might clash with yours. So I'm going to politely decline. I hope you have a great day. And I was super caught off guard, because I have a wide variety of friends, like people who are super religious to not super religious. And even though our like perspectives may not always match, we've never like gotten off on the wrong foot like that. Like, I may not be overly religious, but I come from a religious family, so I'm very like respectful of all cultures. But that's the first time I'd ever had that experience with adding new people. And I didn't know if anybody else had run into that. I just told her, I was like, that's cool. I hope things go well for you, and, have a great day. But I didn't really like know how else to handle it. And so I just kind of like left it at that.
And honestly, that's probably the best thing that you can do. One thing that I never post, and this is just a personal thing from being in multiple businesses for a long time, is I don't post anything political, because it's just opening your page for arguments and negativity and everybody else's opinion. I keep mine. So I would usually say that I don't post anything religious or political, but that's not true, because I post about my prayer journal every single day, I think. So just like,
well, so I guess the thing that caught me off guard is I really don't post or share anything political or religious on my page. I have colored hair and piercings, but the thing is I added her knowing that we had mutual friends, and the friends that she's friends with are people like me. So I was super caught off guard and was just like, well, one, I'd never had a new person that I added, whether I knew people that knew them or not, say that. And so I just didn't know if anybody else had like ever run into that and how they had handled it, or you, because I like you said, I'll message them and be like, hey, thanks for accepting. And if they ask, why, I give, like, hey, I'm just stepping out of my comfort zone, expanding, my social group, which most people are cool with. And then, we interact with each other's posts for a few days, and then something ends up coming up where they message me or I message them, and most people are on board. I found that some people I've had to ask like 6 times, and then after that 6th time, they're like, yeah, sure, why not? And it was like, oh, well, like, I did everything the same this time. Like, what changed? And then I just realized that just being persistent, and that Tamika, I had a meeting with her the other day, and she reminded me of that. And the persistency like really makes a difference.
right. Cammie, did you have a question?
Yeah. So what are you doing to stay organized with all the people you're talking to? And then you mentioned them really fast. You said, what are the host posts you do? You said coffee, TFX, hair, skin, nails, and what?
Hair, skin, and nails with collagen, coffee, TFX, and the keto energy.
Okay, that was it. Okay, yeah. And then how do you stay organized with all the people you're talking to? I mean, not just the people that, because obviously you're going through your Facebook friend list, but yeah, how are you staying organized with all the people you're talking to?
So Tamika's really awesome and makes these awesome little follow-up charts. I don't know if you can see it or not. This is just yesterday. Anybody that commented on a host post for me. And then I have another one for people that I messaged. Like I do my friends list and I just put a little dot. So like if they're a host post, they're blue. If they're a customer, they're green. And if they're a distributor, they are pink. And so like I just highlight like a little dot next to them so I can keep track of what messages I've sent them. And then anybody who comments, likes on host to post goes on this list. And so that's another thing. Like I have signed half of my host to post customers from people who like the post, didn't comment on it. And so I always send a message that says, hey, I seen that you commented on so-and-so's post about whatever product it is. Are you being a super supportive friend or would you like more information? And probably 75% of the time I get, I kind of both. And so then I will go through the same script with them that I would have if they would have commented. And if they just say a super supportive friend, I'm like, sweet, I really love that you're supporting your friends and that helps me out. So thank you so much. Like, just being thankful for anything that they do on your post brings it back up to the top. And some of them will go back in and comment on it for me. I had one guy, so the reason that I started doing host to post is I had one guy I messaged who I thought was a girl. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there. His name was Danny, and I really thought that it was a girl. It was a profile picture of him and his wife because I didn't message males when I first started. Like I have severe social anxiety, and if it is a male, it is 10 times worse. And so I sent him a message at 6 o'clock one morning that said, hey, I hope it's not too early for you, but I'm sending out some keto energy samples and I wanted to know if you'd be interested in getting some. He messaged me back, sure, after I finish my cup of coffee, I'm only on cup number 1. I think I'm going to need 2 today. I'll message you later. And so he messaged me at 8 o'clock that morning and said, I would love to be able to get some keto energy samples. Can you tell me about them? And so I told him about them. He signed up as a customer. He hosted a post for me that had 75 comments. And I signed 4 distributors and I think 6 customers off of that post. Every month he hosts a post for me. And so like you never know that person that you're going to send a message that has a huge following. And just 2 days ago, I was super nervous to message this girl here in town who works at the rec center. She does all of these craft classes. And for some reason, she's always just been on my chicken list. Like I didn't think that she would even respond. Not only did she say, sure, I'll host a post for you, she said, I've been thinking about that coffee for myself. So like you really never know who is actually watching your page or wants to be a part of what you're doing. And so I took her samples at the rec center and she's going to sign up as a customer now. And her post had 25 comments on it. So like I literally am now going through my entire friends list and I don't skip a single person on there unless they're a distributor. Anybody else?
Have you found more success with the guy that you had got to do your monthly host to post versus just asking, random people here and there? And would you recommend finding somebody if they're willing to do it monthly for you?
So this guy actually runs different network marketing groups. And so like he has 5,000 friends and he sells something else. He sells CTFO, which is a CBD company. So it doesn't conflict with anything that we do. So if you have somebody who has a huge following, who always gets comments, honestly, I would recommend signing them up as a distributor instead of just hosting a post for you. But obviously this guy's already got his own business, but he's more than willing to help. And so if you can find that, utilize it. Now, I will tell you over the months, his comments and his reactions have gone down because we've been doing it for 5 months. And so I'm not doing it this month. Actually, I'm going to take some time off while he builds more network and then I will come back. I will tell you, as far as sending cold messages of, hey, will you just do me a favor. I get a lot of responses from men on my Facebook. Now, I do not add men. Like, I do not go looking for men. They're friends of my husband's or friends of my friends that, like, they're spouses to my friends. And I had a conversation about that with Chelsea, that men are not usually like messaged. You figure more women are because there's more network marketings that are for women. One second, please. Anybody else? I just seen a comment on there that says, Ashley, can you write on your wall to see people host posts? Yes, there's lots of different ways that you can do that. You can do a drawing giveaway. You can post, like I've posted on there before, hey, I have a girl going for a big goal. There's 3 ways that you can help me out. Is anybody interested? And I've gotten responses from it. So there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can post on your wall for a host to post. Some of those I'll send over to Tamika now. I think I already sent them. I think she already posted all of them actually. Nope, those are messages. So I will send over the ones that I do have. Anybody else?
Have you found that, is there like a specific time that's good to like have them post, or you just not care and you just do whenever?
Honestly, I have people, so people who respond to me at a certain time is usually when their network is on. And so when they respond to me and post it, that's usually when their network will see it. I have people post randomly throughout the day whenever they get back to me. I will tell you, the more that are posted after 9 in the morning to like 10 o'clock at night, get more. The ones that people were posting at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, unless I went in and bumped them back up, weren't getting a whole lot of interaction.
How many days should you wait for a response?
So either they respond or they don't. And if they don't respond to me, the next time that I start back over at my friends list, because I've gone through my friends list twice now. I'm on my second go around of my friends list. So I go back and I've already messaged this person. I just make sure what I send them is something different. So if I sent them like a distributor message, which I did last week, then I'll send them a, hey, do you want to be entered into a Visa gift card? I never send the exact same message twice, because I've had people that I've messaged 15 to 20 times before they even responded to me.
Mandy, there's another good question in the chat.
Okay. Mine doesn't always show me that there's things in the chat. So, no, I'm not very good at taking in consideration of the time zones, because let's be honest, I have to message Tamika and be like, what time is that my time? And so I just figure if people don't want to be disturbed while they're sleeping, they'll turn off their notifications or put their phone on silent. And that may not be very considerate of me, but I usually don't start messaging people until 9 o'clock my time zone. So that's what the earliest is 6.
Honestly, I have such a hard time with the time zones that I started keeping a browser open with time zone exchange, so I can just quickly type in like MT's what to EST, because there's just like so many different ones. I've actually had a few people message me from like out of the country interested in products, and that really throws me off. Neither of us will ever forget to pick her up again.
So does everybody know what a host to post is and how to do it now? Yes, Ashley, if you are offering to give away free products in your post, you are responsible for those free products. So something that I will tell you is I have only ever had to send off 2 free things, because in the messages it says, in order to get the free thing, I have to sign 4 customers from your post. That's only ever happened to me twice. And so it's worth it at that point. Like if I'm signing 4 customers, I definitely can send somebody samples, and that person actually that got samples ended up being a customer in the end anyway.
Go ahead, Cami. We'll have you be the last one and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, cool. And maybe this is a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So how do you not get overwhelmed? Because for me, I find if I have more than like 20 host to posts up, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many messages, there's so many people to respond to, and I just get so overwhelmed. So I guess, what are you doing to like avoid that and just check in with yourself?
So honestly, I learned to get very intentional with my time. So I get up in the morning, and an hour before my kids get up for the day is when I send messages, and I respond to yesterday's messages, comments, anything I hadn't responded to. And then I put my phone away. Like it really come down to putting your phone away, because it's not life or death. Nothing that we do is life or death. So you can put your phone away and then come back to it. And so like I will send the first message out to everybody who responded, put my phone away. And then everybody who responds, I'll send the second message out, the third message out. And I try to keep that day the same host to post. So if I'm sending out coffee, I'm sending out coffee all day long, unless like today I had a girl who ordered hair, skin, and nails. Hers obviously is hair, skin, and nails. Or somebody that I know was interested in a certain product, I have them do that for their post. And that would be the only thing that is different, because if I can keep some sort of a system where they're all the same, then I'm not overwhelmed, and making sure that I have all of my scripts saved to my phone. And I just set aside, I have 20 minutes to respond, and whatever I can get done in 20 minutes is what I get done in 20 minutes. Because I used to just sit, and Tamika can tell you, I would sit from the time I got up till the time I went to bed on my phone, and I was not a happy person. And that's not why we do this business. We do this business so that we can have a life, not it be our only life.
I love it, you guys, and thanks for all the questions. So, you know, I told Mandy, I was like, we gotta open up to more people, because we'll get better questions and just be able to answer them and just kind of expand our knowledge on it. So thank you, Mandy, for doing this. I'm gonna upload it on YouTube. So if you want the link, I'll post it in the Team Rick Equals Dream Rick post that we made, and you can ship it out to your teams. Thanks, Mandy.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for getting on.